Okay, and we are now live. So, once more, good evening, everyone. In a few minutes, about to begin finding arts in teaching, finding teaching in arts. So, the topic about that is we'll be discovering the strategies of teaching and how it focuses on creativity of the mentor to recognize and affirm students' unique abilities. So, once more, if you think this live stream sharing session is beneficial to someone you know, please invite them to join us. So, once more, in a few minutes, about to begin finding arts in teaching, finding teaching in arts. Okay, so once more, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. To everyone who's around the world. Okay, my name once more is John Mark, and I'm a creativity advocate and a STEAM advocate. STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts. Once more, arts and math advocate. So by profession, I'm also a mechanical engineer. Yep. In addition to that, so if you're into creativity, you would like to inspire young ones into doing digital drawing nowadays, inviting you and them to join us in Adobe Photoshop user group. And for everything else about creativity using digital technology, inviting you all to join us in digital creatives. Okay, and joining me this evening to share her insights with regards to teaching. Okay, so actually, I'm also a kinda a kinda of a teacher trainer. So I usually teach CAD design softwares to professionals and to young ones as well. Never in my life have I have a plan actually to be an educator as well. So here I am now, and yeah, understanding the importance of inspiring, most especially young ones, into creativity and arts. Okay, so once more, joining me this evening is also a oh a top Filipina to follow in LinkedIn. Okay, she's also a top Filipina and yeah, a coach as well. Okay, and yep, joining me this evening to share her thoughts and insights and to support Miss Maria Lourdes de Vera's advocacy with regards to arts and teaching. Please, let's give a warm welcome to Miss to career coach Wanda.
Thank you, John Mark, for having me. It's such an honor to be here, especially with Miss Maria. We're very excited to hear from her, to learn from her, as a fellow coach and teacher. I think I always love learning, so it's really a great honor. Thank you, John Mark, for inviting me today.
Yep. For those not familiar with Coach Wanda, Coach, what are you currently busy with? Any announcements from you?
Yes, thankfully, after the nomination as the top one of the 100 most influential Filipina women on LinkedIn, thankfully, there's another nomination that came out for me, one of the best career coach and one of the best coach for Asia Pacific region. So, if you do believe in my advocacy, because I'm all about helping moms overcome stress and burnout through coaching and, of course, by sharing career advice, tips, and tools. So please later I'll share the link. Vote for me as best career coach and that would be an honor for me also. So thank you. And John Mark, every week I also go live on LinkedIn interviewing mothers, successful mothers from corporate and in business, as well as doing live career coaching calls. So if you want to know more about all of these initiatives, just visit my LinkedIn profile to get updates on my upcoming webinars, and live interviews featuring successful women in business and in corporate. That's all for me, Jamar.
Yep. Curious to know if coaching was really in your mind way back before college, or is it a serendipity thing as well that led you to this path?
I think I'll call myself an accidental coach, trainer, and speaker. Because by profession, if you're an engineer, Jomark, I'm an accountant and I'm a certified public accountant. When I started to have that burnout in 2014, when I was trying to look for life's meaning. I did a lot of volunteering activity, and I really found myself. the one that sparks so much joy within is training and coaching. So, and then the journey continued, and here I am today, training and coaching, but specifically focusing on helping moms, because I know how difficult it is to be one, and I know how difficult it is without the help that you really need.
Yep. I'm a bit lost with regards to the difference between a trainer and a coach aside from the spelling. Can you share to us when do you say you're a trainer and you're a coach?
See,
Curious to know.
from my own language, right? When you do training, you impart your knowledge with another person. So basically, you're sharing your wisdom, your struggles, so these persons can learn from you. So that's training. But on a coaching level, it's either through group coaching or one-on-one coaching. On that scenario, you help a specific group, or you help a specific person solve their own personal challenges. So more than, imparting your knowledge, you're teaching them the steps to overcome the current problems and challenges that they are facing. So that is how I differentiate in my own terminology. So training is basically just giving you information, sharing wisdom, but coaching is really about giving you a step-by-step guide, and also getting the wisdom from within to help you find the solutions that you need.
Yep. I think everyone is also kind of curious. Where are you thou currently located right now?
I'm based here in Dubai, so currently po,
Ah, Dubai.
I'm based here in Dubai, but I'm most passionate about helping Filipinos. Kaya I'm really here with Jomar today. I canceled the other schedules I have. I delayed and postponed for to really support Jomar, because I always believe in supporting other people's cause and initiatives, and of course to learn also from Miss Maria.
Yep. And very much honored to have another Filipina
So,
women
while waiting
in
for
LinkedIn.
Jomart, I think naglalag yung Wi-Fi. Is it me or is it you?
I don't know as well. Pero you're looking fine. You're looking awesome to my side. So
Okay, because at some point I lost your signal.
yep. Yeah. So basically, this event is yep about we are supporting or promoting LinkedIn Local as well. So basically, LinkedIn Local is about a community of helping everyone. It just so happened we're in the pandemic, so it's hard to. We are banned from getting closer to one another, but basically, LinkedIn Local is about discovering the true person behind their profile. So and yeah, one of our mission is simple. It's basically being a blessing to everyone. So we're hoping that this another live stream would be beneficial to all. Hoping we can inspire and make a positive difference. So yep, some of the topics that we will be covering here are gain an insight into personalized teaching, create individualized programs, and implement socialized learning. Okay, so without further ado, once more, our main guest sharer is also a top women. Oh, I'm surrounded by awesome women.
Women
uh,
power.
Oh, women power. So, yep, I'm hoping there will also be a sort of how do you call that? Top gentleman or man to follow in
You have
LinkedIn.
to
But
start the initiative, Jomart, and definitely I will vote for you. We'll
yeah,
ask Miss
it's
Virginia to do something for men only.
yeah. I'm curious to that as well. Most of our friends here in LinkedIn community, most of the influencers I'm seeing are majority of them are women. So I think they compromise for me. They're around 70% and 30
Oh,
are
really?
the
But
male.
but Gomart, to be honest with you, when I was looking initially at the top 100 Filipinos to follow on LinkedIn, if you look at that, I think 70% are men. I have to see the
Yeah.
statistics again. Kaya nga, that is why there was an initiative from Connected Women. Why not we now recognize women? Because on that list, it's mostly men. So that's why they started that
Ah,
initiative na, oh, let's do something naman to recognize women only. But I think
oh,
that
that
idea is great, having also a men most influential category, right?
yeah, because yeah, me as well. I do believe in the power of the influence and power of husbands, haligi ng tahanan in driving the children, the family, yeah, and also the world definitely. Okay, and without further ado, to share us her thoughts on how we can find arts in teaching, finding teaching in arts. Let's say thank you, and it's an honor to share your thoughts to us, your journey, your wisdom. Good evening, Ma'am Maria Lourdes de Vera.
Hi there. How are you guys?
Hello, Miss Maria. We're very excited to hear from you, and we're also scared because we know you're gonna make us do something.
It is actually fun to do things with people, especially if it is real time. However, it's going to be a little bit challenging because you're really far from me, and I'm the kind of teacher or professor I like holding physically my students like that whenever I want to talk with them. So, yeah, but for today, we are quite far from another, but I enjoy the connection. It's really good. So I would like to say good evening to our fellow Filipinos in the Philippines and to those who are in the Middle East. I think I have to say good evening, good afternoon. Is it?
Yes,
And
it's
Yep.
actually good afternoon still for us. It's only 3:18 in the afternoon.
oh, and for the people in the United States, I have to say good morning. Is it? And for the
Depends on where they are, I think, Miss Maria.
what?
In which state they are.
And anyway, I have to say good morning to them and to those in Europe, those who are in the United Kingdom, Italy, France, and the Netherlands. I think it's around 3 or 4 in the afternoon there. So I have to say good afternoon. So I'd like to thank you for being here with me. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the importance of arts, finding arts in teaching and finding teaching in arts. So before that, I would like to share a little bit of myself to you. I've been a grade school teacher all the way to graduate school. So I have an experience of handling children and handling older children. So I still look at my I still look at my graduate students, students in the graduate school as children. Okay. Um, Before we start, I'm going to ask you to take a pause, and I want you to look at your best memories in school. I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about your best memory in grade school, as far as you can remember, and what made it memorable to you.
I think for me the best memories are not in grade school but in high school. Uh Specifically camping days when we do camping on school grounds. So uh that's fun for me. That's very memorable. How about you, Coach Wanda?
I think what's memorable for me in grade school, when we have to, I mean, we have this class. I don't know if it's still there. We have to go planting, and then we have to take care of goats. I think it's home economics, right? If I'm not getting it wrong. So I mean, I find it very interesting to till the soil. But in the process of doing it, it's also very difficult. But I think I got to appreciate that it's very difficult to really, produce food. So that made me appreciate the value of food because of that activity that we had in home economics. So we have to plant, then we have to take care of a goat, and Yeah, I think that's the most memorable for me, especially when we have to do something with the goat, which is quite. I mean, I don't want to explain it, but it's kind of something that I will never forget.
Okay, so both of you have something wonderful to look back to. For those who are watching us, I would also like to ask you to look back into your childhood and try to remember what are those happy memories that you have in your grade school or in your middle school or high school. So basically, when we remember something, it is usually a positive feeling.
Yeah.
All of
Is
learning
that?
is connected with a feeling. You do your best with a positive feeling. You can you can excel in something when it is something positive. So basically, you perform more when you are exposed to something positive. Do you remember what your teacher or your parents told you when you were in grade school?
I think more than grade school, there was one teacher I remember from college. I always jumping na, because that teacher, when he always comes to class, he will always share the miracles he had. And I was, initially I was thinking miracles are big terms, right? But he was only sharing the small good things that happen in his life that he counted as miracles. And that made me understand na, this life pala is so simple. It is a miracle itself if you choose to count every blessing. So that is what I learned the most that's one of the things that I love most and I remember about that teacher of mine. So I even remember the Mr. Cruzat. So before we start the class, he will share his little miracles in life, and those are small blessings that he's counting every day, and that made me appreciate na, oh, this life is really a miracle if you choose to count every small blessing that comes your way. So that's what I remember the most.
Wonderful. I think I see two persons who share their own memories. Yeah, can you read it for me, please? John Mark?
From Maran, Abu Fakar. Best memories I had when I was working as a group with my peers where the group activities were going on. And another one is, yeah, from, I'm sorry if I will be butchering your name, but Ishteyaka Med Quadri. So participating in co-curricular activities.
Okay, but there's
Yep,
something, there has to be a feeling that comes with it. So it should be something
definitely.
positive. It should be something that makes you expand. And there's another sharing there. I'd like to hear what it is. Another person shared. Third person. Yeah, that's
Uh, from
Ashte.
Akriti Mishra. Ayan. Thank you for joining us, Akriti. I had the best memories with friends. Yeah, yeah. Almost everyone has great memories at school.
Okay, so you basically remember something that is positive, which means that education or learning is always attached to something positive.
Mm.
Okay. However, what do your parents or your teacher tell you in school? Study, study, study. What's the next word?
Eh,
Oh,
Study
sorry, I'm
and
on
then
mute. Sorry, sorry. I said I
Study.
remember my mom always saying, Miss Maria, do your best, excel in your studies.
Okay. What about yours?
uh for me what I remember is uh they they tell me that I'm not good in math. Most of,
Okay.
yeah, and I really am not good in math at all. So maybe because of that, I decided to take up engineering. So I guess it's a matter of perspective on how you will accept things. But
Okay.
basically, I'm not that very good in math. So I just took that saying from my teachers uh, as an inspiration to take up
To
engineering.
prove them wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay. Normally, parents would say, study hard.
Mm.
yeah.
Then the next thing that you hear is work.
to get a
hard.
job. Yep.
Ah,
Yes. So what do you reinforce is always hard. So what makes of life is
hard.
hard. So
True, true.
it becomes a conditioning that everything has to be hard. You study
Mm,
hard, you work hard to be able to reach the top. And what can you see about the children today? Most of them are focused on things that are hard. What if we change the whole thing and study joyfully? Because based on what you can remember, it's the happy things and happy memories that you're able to best excel in what you're doing. Okay? Okay,
True,
so
true.
for the first thing that I would like to share with you, a short clip that will help you to look back. There are many different ways of saying love. You love the way you teach, you love your school, you love everything. So, love is a positive thing, and it does not always mean a relationship with somebody.
true.
So, love and education can be stated in many different ways,
Mm,
creativity or sort. So, I'm going to ask you to listen to the YouTube thing that I got and try to think of the many ways that you're able to express loving.
Yep. I guess you have to press on the.
Which
we
one?
need to play the video.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to hang in there.
Okay.
How do you say love in what's the language there, Coach Wanda in Dubai?
Naku,
Arabic? Is it
Arabic.
Arabic?
I don't know. I have to ask my children. I've been here 12 years, but I'm not very good in Arabic yet. I mean, there's really no requirement for me to learn, but my kids are learning Arabic in school, so I need to, or I can just Google it. But really, Arabic is a very difficult language. I mean, you have to address men and women differently. So the language change depends on who are you speaking to. And a little syllable change is it's really so complicated. But while Miss Maria is getting, let me Google it. And I hope I can pronounce it also. See, the I love you in Arabic is uhibok, but I don't think this is a correct translation.
Hmm.
I haven't heard of this word yet here.
Are you able to see it now? Are you able to see
Um,
it now?
not yet, Miss Maria.
Not yet. It's not yet shared. It's called
See,
ISHQ, means love.
See, he even has a see in Arabic. Love means hub. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. See, in also there are different levels of Arabic. See, if you Google it, the Google Translate is different from what's the actual word. And this
Mm.
Maran gave the right term for it. So thank you everyone for joining us live. Just wait, Miss Maria is just getting those videos fixed. Do you want to share the link? Maybe Jomar can help you project those videos, Miss Maria.
Yes, please, Jomar. Can you do it for me, please?
Can
Uh,
you
I guess you just need to
Click
click
on share.
the share screen once more.
Then click
Yep,
on
okay,
share
ready?
the
let's
screen.
try once more. Oh, see, there's
Muhabat.
another one. Muhabat is the word for love. See, it's very different, right? Can you share which country are you from? Maybe it's another Arab country as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. What we're currently seeing, Miss Maria Lourdes, is the StreamYard panel. Okay, we're seeing it.
You're seeing it
Uh,
now? Are
yep,
you
yep.
Okay, let's watch this video now.
as the video is playing, try to savor the language, okay? It's just a few words here.
Uh,
Just wait. I
oh,
think there's no sound, John Mark.
there's no audio. So you need to get back to share screen and at the bottom left. Stop screen for now. Not that. Uh, stop screen. No, that's the mic. Stop screen at the middle.
Okay, while they're trying to solve the technicalities, we would like to thank everybody for joining us live or later for those who are watching us on replay. Today, Miss Maria is talking about finding teaching in arts and finding arts in teaching. So, she is a renowned author and, of course, also a renowned teacher, one of the 10 outstanding teachers in the Philippines. So, is it fixed now, John Mark?
Uh, Miss Maria, the ones being shared right now is the StreamYard panel. You need to select stop screen and reshare. So, not that one. The the StreamYard is sharing your screen is blocking uh the
Okay, let's try
one.
again. Maybe if she pressed Joe Mark. Or let me find that YouTube video. What's the name? Love in
It's
many languages.
okay. Let me just proceed with it without it. Anyway,
Okay, no problem.
in different languages, you can say "I love you" in Spanish, which is "Yo te amo." You can say "I love you" in German, which is "Ich liebe dich," and you can say it in Swahili, "Napenda sa wewe." John, if you're there, it's in Swahili, "Napendeza sana." It's in Swahili. And in Spanish, it's "Yo te amo." In Filipino, you say "Mahal kita." And in German, it's "Ich liebe dich." In French, it is "Je t'aime." So the language varies, but the spirit is the same. Same
True.
goes for teaching. What is finding teaching in arts and finding teaching in arts? What is art? What is art for you? Art
Hmm.
I
is
think
an
for me, when I hear the word art, it's about creativity. That's
Yeah.
that's what comes first to my mind. It's using your creative mind to create something.
okay. When we speak of arts, it is an expression and it is a gesture. And when you do that, it has to be aligned, authentic, and attuned. That means you express it what is authentic within you. Otherwise, you won't be able to say that that is an expression. Hang in there.
Yes, Miss here. We're here, Miss Maria. You just wanna spotlight your beautiful face. So you said authentic, aligned, attuned, right?
Yes, for you to find out what arts is, there have the three things that you have to remember: authenticity, aligned, and attuned. When I say authenticity, it has to be true. When I say aligned, it has to be consistent with what you feel, with what you think, and with what you're doing. And when you say attuned, it has to connect with other people. Without it, your art is only with you. Art has to expand, art has to connect with people. So, finding teaching in arts, the essence of it is knowing how to deliver, how to bring out in something. Art in itself is an expression and a gesture. Let me try one more time so I could show you um, the slides that I have prepared.
Yep. Actually, you can. We are already on that slide. So, yep. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Are you able to see it?
We're seeing it. Affection. So, we're seeing the main title right now: Finding Arts in Teaching.
Finding teaching in arts. Yes.
Yep.
Now, when we talk about arts, it is always connected with creativity. But creativity and arts are two different things. Okay? Art
Oh.
is an expression. It contains culture, tradition, religion, philosophy, and everything. Everything that you are, because art is an expression. Creativity is the gesture of art. So, the basic principle upon which
Mm.
creativity is based, whether it is for therapy or art expression is based on the recognition of individual differences, which means different people, different culture have different ways of expressing oneself, our deep and profound understanding and respect for the human being. Okay. When you use arts in education, there are three things that you have to recognize. The threefold part of education. First is the method, second is the child, and third is the teacher. Creativity is not being different or outlandish, it's just being the best of what you can. And knowing or being the best at what you can is knowing what you are. Method is part of education. What can you say about education right now, Wanda?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, education. You asked about that question, Miss Mary. What is education to me?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, education is about continuous learning. I thought that I stopped educating myself at some point, but I learned from T. Harv Eker what he said. If you stop learning, you're automatically dying. And that's why every day I make sure I learn at least something new. And life is really, a continuous journey of educating yourself so you could grow as a person. That's what education means to me.
Okay, anybody in the audience who would like to say what education is for them? What about you, John
It's the
Mark? You're into CAD. So what is education for you?
I think education is something that never stops. Even even if we're not considering the formal thing, formal education, whether you like it or not, you're realizing something, which means you're learning, you're being educated, brought about by your environment, from someone you are with. So my point of view on education is it's something that is being brought to you, inculcated to you, whether it's subliminal, not forced by our environment.
Okay, thank you very much, Nathan Kaiser, for sharing your thought. Education is a process. It is, yeah, indeed, finding wisdom. Yeah, it has many subjects, many books, and many courses and exams. Indeed, I agree to all of that. And education, for it to take effect, education involves teaching. Yes, I agree. Education is an opportunity. Yes, please. I agree to that. Education itself is a structure, but as a structure, it has to evolve, it has to move, it has to respond. Otherwise, it is no longer education. Education
True.
per se has to effect change, it has to connect with people. So, my definition of education is rather out of the box. Education is to advance the cause for learning, is to go beyond the structured. We reveal, we reward, and recognize excellence to that extent that they conform to established norms of perfection. Recognizing knowledge and study student achievement relative to what we envision to be. Would you like to react to that, Nathan?
I think
You
it's a
can.
bit long. Maybe you can project your slide so they can reflect on it, Miss Maria. The way you pronounce, yeah, it's very profound, right? It's about knowledge, it's about rewarding. What else? Yeah, I was trying to remember the keywords that you said.
Okay,
So
I'll
maybe
flash it again.
maybe the audience, if you can, do you have it on a slide? If you can flash it on the screen, maybe the audience will have more time to reflect about
Yes.
what education meant.
All right, I'll put it
Miss
in.
Maria, what's currently shared right now is the StreamYard panel. Okay, here it is.
Ayan, I love it. Okay, let's read it together and reflect upon it.
John Mark, why don't you read it for us? so we can all listen to you.
What is education? So, to advance the cause for learning is to go beyond what is structured. Okay, we agree to that. It has been proven. We reward and recognize excellence to that extent that they conform to established norms of perfection. Recognizing knowledge and student achievement relative to what we envision things to be, but what is the future when, as teachers, we are creating the world from limited perspective of the past, building the future based on our own realities rather than the current realities from where every learner is coming from. Then, in that line of thinking, we fail to recognize and address the current necessity.
2 minutes to think about it.
Okay, ako muna. While they're thinking, I think let me give my thoughts about it. I definitely agree with you, Miss Maria, that, education has to be, it has to be beyond the structure. For me, I started working Moms Academy for the same reason. I mean, as a mother, I learned that, nothing in my life, not nor academic education, nor my corporate experience have prepared me for motherhood. And in Working Moms Academy, we are all about relearning, unlearning what's not working, relearning what is work, and of course, continuously learning with other mothers how we can become better parents, how can we become better people, and become better partner. And as you rightly said here, you create education based on your past realities, right? I mean, we become mothers based on how our mothers have taught us. But then you have to disrupt and go beyond the structure because you have to become a mother based on the reality of your own children and your own family. So that's my reflection about your meaning of education here.
Okay, from my perspective, what I wanted to tell is, given my experience, I've been teaching from one country to the next, and I've been teaching from different levels. When we teach, you look at the experiences of the children. What are these experiences that you need to process for them to be able to learn? Now, we are a product of the past. We are responding to the present. The question is, you are creating something from the past that cannot be applied in the present. Take, for example, COVID. We are all used to the traditional way of education, the face to face. When COVID came in, everybody is taken aback. The entire Philippines has to stop the face to face education because of what happened. Are we prepared? No. So the challenge is to be able to create a kind of education method or system that has to address the current situation. Are we ready? Not quite, but we were able to catch up. So that is what I mean by building the future from our own realities. That reality is the past of current generation. So when you are doing, for those who are, I think I read somebody that there will be um, building their school. When you think of your curriculum, when you think of your school, think of the present that will project everything the student the experiences to the past, but do not forget the lesson of the future. That is what I mean. Any question?
I'm pretty clear about it. Do we have any question from the audience? I don't think there are any questions. There's more feedback about education here, but I don't see any questions right now. How
Okay.
about from your side, Jomark? Are there any questions?
Um, Maria, we have educated the system, but as a nurse, I contracted twice. So, yep. We have tons of
Reactions.
reactions here, and yeah, thank you so much. These are all awesome insights, and I saw something notable from Quadri. The best way to learn is to teach. So this
That's
is
right.
That's
this is
true.
something that I agree so much because we train students. So when you're teaching, when you're about to teach something, the learning curve goes way way up than being taught. So I truly agree with this. If you want to learn something, if you want them to learn something, so this is what we also do with our students, interns, OJT. So we ask them to teach a specific topic in CAD. So yep.
Indeed. So education has to be flexible and yet it has to be secured. Secured in the sense that it has to be stable and yet it has to respond without changing the essence. All right. Yes?
uh
Can you
ravi
please?
has Ravi has a question. Can you please elaborate? Yeah, I'm also curious about this as well.
Okay,
As a
structure.
structure.
As a structure is what I mean is the subjects that you have within the structure, the basic curriculum. Does the curriculum respond to the current needs? Does it address the problem of education? Are we able to address the things that the children has to learn? That is structure. Because the structure that we have developed are those of the past. We make them think of things that are no longer applicable to the children right now. We spend more time thinking or living in the past. That's why we have a little bit, we have a few people going into research because we are tied in perfecting what is in the past. Can you join me in my thoughts, Joe Mark? When I mean by structure, structure means that you have order. You have
Yeah,
order and you have process. That's what it is. But when I say outside of the structure, it has to be flexible. It has to respond. But it doesn't mean to say that you're going to lose your order and your organization because learning is still developmental.
yeah.
Okay. Did I answer your question? Who's that young man? He was asking something.
Yep.
All
From
right.
Ravi. Oh, yep. Thank you, Ravi, for asking. For Obianuju, yes, please, if you have a questions or thoughts, comments, reactions, please don't
Just type it
hesitate
in.
to type it in. Okay, so I guess you have
Okay.
to share your screen once more, Miss Maria.
Okay. So education has to be dynamic. It has to move. It has to effect change. If it does not move, as what you said, then there is no growth. Then that means your education is dead. Okay? It has to move, but it's very expensive to do that. Okay, then. Okay. When you said structure, this is my response to you, Ravi and Jomark. We are taught to follow a certain mold and spend a lifetime searching for something outside that is within. We are so concerned with the structure that we fail to recognize the children. We categorize them all as the same when we forgot or fail to recognize the uniqueness of every child. Yes, you got it? Any question? Okay. The question is what makes you special? What makes you unique? Be your own special self. I'm going to give you 3 minutes, no, 3 seconds to think about it. You don't have to tell me, just think about what makes you unique. Okay? Okay, while everybody's talking about thinking about that, what makes you unique, Joe Mark? Three things. One, two,
I think
three.
there's nothing unique about me anymore. Definitely there are other persons who
There
would.
must be something good in you. Name three. One, two, three. Come on. Chop chop.
Well, I'm whenever I see someone selfish with regards to knowledge, I am very much uh, inspired to learn that thing in order to share that to others.
Something unique about you, Wanda.
I think what's unique about me, I've never met somebody like me who's a certified public accountant, audit manager who became a coach and a speaker. So that's
Oh.
one unique thing. I mean, I've never met somebody as weird as me who was brave enough to change careers. I think what other the other thing that's make me I'm very I'm an optimist. I'll say. I mean, from childhood, and even when I do audits, I always look at what's working, what's good. When in fact an auditor should be looking on in terms of what's not working right. But I am really a born optimist, and I think what makes me unique, I am a very different parent. I'll say there's something called parenting by doing right. So I don't have really rules per se. I always adapt my parenting depends on my children's unique personalities. So I parent my two kids differently. So I think that's what's unique to me.
Delia, thank you very much for your sharing and for you as well, Nathan. And the last one who shared was?
If you can listen, you will never be a leader. Yeah, yep. Obia Nuju. Yeah.
My
Thanks for
personality.
sharing personality.
Okay, to be honest, sounds like an HR question to an applicant. However, it remains something all of us deeply introspect, regardless of the context, and that is always a good thing. Okay, it is important to know what are the special things about you because if you cannot recognize what is good in you, how can you affirm or see the
Mm-hmm.
goodness in other people?
And others.
So, if you cannot even affirm or appreciate yourself for the things that are beautiful in you, how can you reach out to other people? Education has to help you get out of your shell.
I
Moment of
agree with
silence.
that. I think, Miss Maria, what I learned, this life is a mirror. The errors you
Yeah.
see in others is the errors that you see in you. And whatever problem you want to solve there is something that's, as you said, right, in the previous slide, you spend so much time looking for outside when everything is within. So I think that's both related. So if you
Okay.
look at this life as a mirror and you really do something, I mean, to create that change, right, then it's all possible.
Okay. To answer the other question, it sounds like an HR because education, you mold or you develop the children. That is what you look inside. Because education is for children, is for you to excel. It's not the students for the education. Because if you fit in all the students inside the box, then you'll have a lot of issues because you cannot put everybody in one box. You cannot put um, French, German, all nationalities in one structure. Because if you do that, it will be biased to certain sides. So it has to be the other way around. Create your curriculum around your learner. Okay? It's challenging. It's something outside of the box, but it can be done and it has been done. Okay, next. In creating your curriculum, it is important that you know what is unique in you, what is unique in your students, because it helps you identify what to develop and where to excel. Now, what is art? Art has the power to transform and illuminate, to educate, to inspire, and to motivate. Why? Because art is your expression. And knowing what you can do helps you to reach out to other people, to develop what you can do. It helps you to see the best thing in you and it helps you what to share. Educate, what does educate means? Educate is to change. It's not about molding people into a particular caste. Now, art is an expression or a gesture. It has to be attuned, aligned, and authentic, as I have explained earlier. because it is part of what you are. Finding teaching in arts and finding teaching in arts. Oh my, I typed the wrong way. I'm so sorry. The essence of which is change the way you approach things. Because basic knowledge will be the same. For example, chemistry, physics, there are basic things or common things that we have to learn. Basic in math, counting, values, temperature, these are all basic, these are all common. But how you present it or how you approach this subject as you present it to your student makes a difference. And yes, you can see there are different kinds of learners with different kinds of learning styles. Now, feel the difference in you, and that's the only way you can also feel the difference in other people. It's vice versa. The perfection of any given craft is an ongoing process. I heard somebody say that education is a process. The perfection of any given craft is an ongoing process of folding and unfolding. The commitment to render consistent, best effort rises in time and space. The sense for fulfillment comes from perfecting an attitude for excellence in one's given profession in our own places. So it's not we do not foster or encourage competition, because when we foster competition in school, we forget the meaning of collaboration, connection, and
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
which at this current time we are so having a hard time, especially with the pandemic. It's so hard to connect with people, it's so hard to find people to work with you, because in the past we have so much emphasized the meaning of I am better, I can do good. We have forgotten the importance of what we we can do together. Frame of mind. There are many different kinds of philosophy, all paradigms of Jomar. Can you read it for me, please?
It's a bit hard to read, but all paradigms of thinking evolve in its own rate of progression. The universe is alive. It moves. It is not a static concoction of elements. However, we are beings endowed with the power to effect change. And in this seemingly chaotic mobility, there is order.
Okay, it's meant to say that no matter how problematic or chaotic we are, there is still order in it, and we can find our way if only we can connect with each other. And the way to connect with each other is to recognize emotion, and affection is one of that. Because if we connect through philosophy, we will all disagree because we have different things to say, different things to think of, different values. And what connects all human beings is emotion. Excellence is a matter of attitude. It is an art to remain grounded with life's struggle and yet flexible to the wind of change. To remain human and compassionate is a test of strength. Okay, so what are the things that are important when you do your education? So, to wrap it up, first is the method. Think of a method in your school or your curriculum. It has to adhere or to respond to the current needs. It is able to respond to the student. Because if it is so strict or so hard that it cannot respond to to the learners, then your school will eventually close down. Not unless if you want to force it. One of which the importance there is communication. How do you relate? How do you pass on the importance of your education? And it always starts in the basic education in lower school. You need clarity, correctness, conciseness, courtesy in delivery, because today, when we realize global necessity, universal thing, global mind, we have to show courtesy to different, to diversity. and concreteness, consideration, and completeness. So these are the things that are very important when we communicate with one another. That it is always important for us to clarify and ask. I do have the next clip here. I hope when I chose this clip, it is to show the importance of communication, of clarifying, of finding the effort to go out of the box to be able to communicate. Is there anybody here who worked in the call center? Okay, I will not, no need to respond. Call centers are really funny, because two different countries, two different nationalities are talking with one another. And here, the importance of communication is clearly established. Connection cannot meet if we cannot talk with one another and find ways to connect. And that is very important, especially in education.
I think I have that clip here.
Please say hello to start.
Hello.
I didn't understand your response.
Allô.
Please say hello to start.
Hello.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't understand you. Could you please repeat your response?
Hello.
I'm still waiting for your response. Please say hello to start.
Hello. Allô. Hello. Hola.
Calling iRabbit International Help Desk for assistance.
Hello, sir. Thank you for purchasing the iRabbit, your own personal digital animal. Raj at your service, sir. Before I can help you out, could you please spell your name for me, sir?
T. H. I. E.
Is that an O, sir?
Yes. E. R. One more R. Y.
That is not a letter, sir.
It's the letter Y.
Can I just call you Greg, sir?
I'm Thierry. Thierry.
Bien sûr, monsieur. How can I help you today, Mr. Greg?
I tried to start my iRabbit, it doesn't work. I'm very tired and hungry.
Sir, if you're hungry, I can call you back after lunch.
No, wait! I shake the rabbit, it doesn't function.
Sir, please do not shake your iRabbit. Press the tail to start.
I tried, it never works. I hate the rabbit.
Sir, your 1-year limited guarantee doesn't cover chewing or biting the device.
No, I hate the rabbit.
Heating can cause fire in your house, sir.
No, I eat the rabbit.
I understand that you are a non-vegetarian, Mr. Greg, but I would personally advise you to not eat the equipment, sir.
Can I talk to your chef, please?
I'm calling from iRabbit International Help Desk. It's not a restaurant, sir.
The restaurant. I would like to talk to your chief.
We are based in a developed country here. We don't have any chiefs or tribes now.
But I paid a lot of money. It is not cheap.
Exactly, sir. It's a rabbit, not a sheep.
I mean, it is not cheap.
It's a rabbit, not a ship.
It's not cheap.
It does have an electronic chip inside.
Please, focus on my problem.
Don't quite understand you, sir.
Please focus.
I beg your pardon?
Please focus on the rabbit.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't accept that kind of language. Thank you for purchasing the iRabbit, your personal digital animal.
Hello.
Welcome, Greg.
The name is Thierry.
Nice to meet you, Thierry. What can I do for you, Thierry?
Okay, one of the most important things in finding arts in teaching, is to recognize diversity, that we are all different, and to learn how to respect one another for our differences. Have you ever experienced that in a school? It does. It it actually happens when teachers and students do not meet halfway. So, finding arts in teaching and finding teaching in arts is to recognize the expression and the gesture as different and to respect diversity.
I love that. It's such a funny video, Miss Maria. Thank you for sharing. I mean, it's not about school, right? But here in Dubai, being here for more than 12 years and being exposed to different nationalities and countries. I mean, here, I mean, it's not only about the language, the gesture itself, as you said. So, I yes to Philippines is like when we do this, right? Well, yes to other countries like this. So you will get confused. Is he saying yes or no? I mean, I mean, it's very interesting to talk about language and communication because really there's always a difference from one nationality to another, from one culture to another. So thank you for sharing that. That's actually an eye opener, right? How a difference in language and pronunciation can mean a different thing to another person.
Yes, actually, I grew up with different um, nationalities together in one community. But as children, children do not have presumption, or they don't judge one another. So it is easier for children to connect. There is more issue coming from the older people. So I grew up partly in East Africa in such a way that I speak fluent Swahili. And thank you to
Wow.
one of our audience. He speaks Swahili, and I am able to remember the language again. I'm able to talk the language again. Asante sana John Tereviel. So yeah, it's nice to recognize diversity, and it is part of art, because art,
True.
as I said, is expression. We have to learn how to appreciate one another, and that's part of diversity. Okay, learning is an individual experience that can be facilitated. It is a process of liberating the ignorance of one's mind, and shedding off reveals the beauty of a soul. So, all our disagreements are just peripheral. Deep inside, we are all human beings with the same need to be respected, the same need to be appreciated. Now, I think I'm done with the method and then the process. Now let's talk about the child. According to Plato, on the education of the child, Jomart, please.
Do not train children to learning by force and harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each.
All right. So most of you who shared, you remember the positive things. You remember the best thing in school when it was delivered to you in a positive way. Okay. When you learn, there are two things that are important, especially with children. You have playfulness, and the other one is passion. Playfulness in childhood will transform or metamorphose into work when they grow old. If you can go back to your own childhood and think about how playful you were, it will also reflect how you are as a staff, as a worker, as a CEO right now. Because in your playfulness in your childhood, it tells you of your imagination and creativity, which is also reflected in the current lifestyle that we do have. Passion is your dedication and creativity in responding to the many things that you like to do. Now, when we think of the strategies in education, neither complain. John Mark, can you read it, please?
Neither complain that students are not learning when the method does not work with what is given. It is a transformative process which, to my understanding, brings about what is universal in all humanity.
Okay, so basically, we focus on the best quality of the child more than looking at the the negative things. We look at what the child can do. We spend a lifetime searching for something beautiful outside, but that is inside. We always tell the child, you are not good in this, you're not
Mm.
good in that. And so the child will always remember the negative things. So, what is a child? A child is, I am spontaneous and transparent. A child is always honest. The child will always tell you what is in her mind. She asked me why I was there. The child will always tell you matter of fact. We exchanged stories and tried, and often she asked, how did you know that? A child will always remember stories in terms of pictures, not bullet type, not bullet form, not enumeration. Everything is a whole
Yes.
picture. A child will remember everything from the perspective of a whole. An adult will chop it down to bits, but a child will always remember things from the perspective of a whole. Childhood, every child deserves a beautiful life and everything is perfect, but finding perfection in perfection. Now, there are schools who do not have specific facilities, but it is finding perfection in perfection means that the child is able to cope and learn to the best of the ability that is there. The inspiration to write lives in the innocence of the child. So, what is a child? Try to nurture what is good, what is true, and what is beautiful. These are the basic foundation that a child has to remember for them to be able to go through in adult life. Because if they don't have this in their heart, they will easily be frustrated in the future. The secret in education is respecting the students. So, which one do you prefer? To create the curriculum to fit in the child, or you create the curriculum around the child? When you create the curriculum around the child, it becomes dynamic. It is always growing, it is always improving. Now, there are five aces of wonder. First is acknowledge. I asked you a little while ago to think of the many things, to think of how unique you are. When you acknowledge, you recognize who I am, that also gives you the ability to look at other people who they are. And that is basic to all of humanity. Acceptance. Acceptance is helping you realize where you belong. And when you realize that, you also realize the meaning of universal. Then appreciate. When you appreciate something, you realize that you yourself are beautiful and you realize also what is beautiful in other people. And based on that, art will tell you that everything is diverse. There are no two things that are equally the same. When we do that, there is the affirmation. We learn to affirm what is true. And when we learn how to affirm what is true, we recognize what is inclusive. Assurance is learning to take note of what is good in every culture, in every tradition. There is always something good, and that helps us to understand the meaning of one, global, connected, collective, and finally, affection. Affection liberates and unites people, regardless of age and distance. The role of art in education. Art has the role in educating, of helping children to become like themselves instead of more like everyone else. So you have to help them to see what is good in them, to see what is special in them. The whole difference of construction between construction and creation is exactly this. That a thing is constructed can only be loved after it is done. But when you do it, it is created. But a thing is created is loved before it exists. Gets? Okay. In every work of art, the artist himself is present. So when you teach somebody, when you are a teacher, a preacher, a doctor, a nurse, a certain part of you becomes a gift to the person who receive it and vice versa. So art is very important, and teaching does not always mean in the classroom, because as we affect and take effect and affect other people, we practice mentoring in a different way. Now, the essence of all beautiful art is great art. All great art is gratitude. And gratitude is based on learning or recognizing what is good, what is beautiful, and what is true in all of us. Finally, the fulfillment of man's creative spirit partially lies in a vision of a beautiful world captured in art. So, art helps us to see the beautiful things in life, and hopefully it connects us and teaches us to realize, to appreciate what is diverse and what is inclusive. And finally, I have this book that you might want to read someday. It's The Nature of Children. It is a book written that explains the artistic development of the child. So what are the skills of the child that is very important between the ages of 1 and 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9. So that is for the children. So I'd like to ask if you have any questions, or if you don't have any questions, then we are done.
Thank you, Miss Maria. Those are very insightful. I think what it just reminds me of my children, as you were putting on the slides. I mean, the school has its own curriculum, but what I do at home to help them adapt to whatever the school needs from them is to use their own creativity. Like one of my daughters, when she has to study Filipino, she was really crying
Mhm.
kasi they don't understand Tagalog very much. I mean, especially even when I was reviewing their notes, the Tagalog, I mean, the Filipino classes are so deep that I myself cannot, teach my children. So how we do it, because my eldest, she loves music. So we use her, love for music. So she's singing those Filipino words so she can remember it easily. So I think every child is like that. My other child, on the other hand, is she loves drawing. So I asked her to, draw something when she makes reviewer to make, I mean, academics easier for her to study. So she used different colors, she used drawings, and that's actually been very helpful. So I think this is my reflection of what I learned from you today about finding art in teaching.
Yeah, first is you have to recognize that every child is different, and then in teaching, it's not always the head part, which means it's not always the information, but information can be delivered through the arts by using painting, by using music. So we can learn fraction in the kitchen, we can learn music in the garden by, music in the garden is because there is the distance between sound and music, sound and silence. So when you make the plot from one distance to the next, well, you can imagine it as music, and you can think of your whole class as different instruments, then they can all pretend. And delivery of any subject can be done in a very artistic way. It doesn't always have to be paper and pencil. You can ask the
Mm, true,
children to
true.
talk about chemistry by
Mhm.
wearing different colors, because every chemical component has its own different colors. You can teach children to understand the different courses, the different profession, by asking them to do a role playing. Who likes to be a doctor? Who likes to be a nurse? Who likes to be a pastor? Who likes to be this and that? Allow them to to project their own self. And then you can teach them about role modeling by asking them to portray the many things that they hear, like Superman, Wonder Woman. I mean, you don't endorse them, but you help them to imagine, which is very important nowadays because it seems like we are all lacking of great ideas to be able to come up with something different. That's it.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you
So,
very
Jomar,
much,
do we
Jen.
have any questions before we end? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, for me, I've been into a family of music lovers as well. So I think Miss Maria is also a violinist, and how do you call that?
Wow.
Pianist, pianist. Is that true?
Yes. I started my music at the age of 3. I uh, I did my piano and I sang at the age of 3. But I was rejected in the school because I was so tiny and they said you are not allowed to enter the school because you're so small. So, yeah, that was a big challenge for me. But then I do have a nice grandma who was able to tailor or to create a different kind of um, module or curriculum for me. So, yes, I enjoyed it a lot with my grandma.
Yep. From
Kids
Raymond.
kids can actually hone their reflexes and learn about resource management in games. However, of course, everything in moderation. For me, it's about finding an educational mean that is attuned to their interests. Perfect. That is actually the essence of finding art in teaching because you're able to recognize every student and you're able to recognize your own capacity to be able to render and um, tailor cut a kind of method or a kind of strategy to deliver your teaching to the student in the best way that you can.
Uh, I, I'm curious to know. This is for Coach Wanda. How do you discipline your children with regards to video games? Do you encourage them to play video games? What are your perspective on this?
See, for me, my kids, I just let them be. I just let them, because see, as a parent, I know if that game is not good for them. So let's say, for example, I will not stop them from playing any game. But the moment I see a difference in the behavior, like if they're always fighting, that means there's something that either they watch or they're playing that giving them that behavior. So I just have another discussion with my children, asking them, so what games are you playing recently? Or where are you learning these concepts, because that will give me a clue. But see, I never stop my children because I want them to. I think every mistake is a learning opportunity. So if that, and I always challenge them, okay, you're playing, I think they're into now Minecraft, so they keep on changing the game. So I'm asking, what benefit are you getting from Minecraft? And then they will justify, it's their creativity. For me, there's no right or wrong. If my kids are getting something from the video game, that's good. But I remember there was one game, it's about killing. I think it's all something like with the A, all about something. I forgot the name, but there was a game about killing and then you're spying. I was telling them, I just asked them the question, do you think playing this game is the best use of your time? And do you think this
Yeah.
could really help you on your everyday, life? And their answer is like, no, mommy, actually, I get a bit scared because there's killing and all. So actually, they deleted the game after. See, I think every child has the inner wisdom within. And if you just let them realize it, not as a parent, being very dramatic of stopping them from everything, and make them understand what is good for them and what's not, and then they have their own wisdom to make the right decisions themselves.
I think one of the most important thing from school, from home to school, is the essence of communication. Never ever lose the communication. And that
True.
is best established during the first 7 years of childhood. And I'm very happy being a mom because the first 7 years of my kids, I'm the one who raised them. No nannies, no everything. I myself.
Wow, that's tough. I mean, as a working mom, I know, I think I'm not alone. My mom's always with me. So I never take the credit of raising my children alone. My mom's always with me. So, so it's really tough. But I think, as Miss Maria said, communication with your children is the most important, because the moment you just keep on saying no to everything, they also stop communicating with you without understanding. You just becomes a stopper or a disciplinarian. But if you have an open communication, they can always ask you questions. They can always get your ideas. And the same thing, you can easily guide them, because they know they will not be judged of what's right and what's wrong, but only a discussion of what could be better.
Thank you very much, Donaldson. Ken Donaldson, for sharing your ideas. Indeed, about children, does help them to attune your methods in connecting to them in a way which builds the common ground where they can connect and relate to you as their mentor. Indeed, I was my children's first teacher for writing, for painting, and for doing music. So, whatever I have accomplished in life, I am happy and I'm proud that I'm the one who established my children more than anything else. Thank you for this, Maria. And I'm a freelance artist and experienced assistant teaching. Did not go to that path. Thank you very much. I'm very happy for your sharing. And please do continue with your artistic inclination. And still, you can share, you can make a difference in doing your arts. And as I said from the very beginning of the slides that I said, you can do best, you can share best in what you are. And there's another one from Nathan. Mahran Abu Fakir. By learning through art, children can learn new concepts in other subjects easily and have fun. True. And it is very important if you can do it with your kids, like draw with them. It doesn't have to be perfect. What is important is the connection between you and your children. Because learning can be done, they can excel without you, but you cannot be with them in the future. So establish that connection now, because that is important, whether you are the teacher or the parent. There's another one I forgot. I was yes.
From Tipa.
Can you read it for me, please?
It's long. Uh, I know parents who complain saying that they have tried a lot to distract their children from using gadget, but they couldn't make it. The children feels lonely, it seems. As a teacher, we have to give them parenting advice, and yes, we encourage parents to spend more time with their children. Parents are too worried about the late development of their children. They don't understand the concept of children has their own ability and a development.
Okay, I like that topic and I love that question of yours.
Mm.
When you immerse in gadgets and computers, what you deprive your children and what the children is deprived is the connection between you and the child. And without human interaction, the child will not develop faster. And it is for that reason that some children are very poor with communication skills and they are unable to relate because they do not know or they don't learn the social aspect of communication. Because when you play the computer or gadgets, it's a one-way communication. It is just you're just feeding the computer, and then the computer will respond in the way you play. So there is no human interaction, and that makes them slow or poor in education. If you can have more time, storytelling, that'll be great.
Uh, I remember this one, Miss Maria, because I'm about to enter. I think I'm about to enter law school, and they mentioned about Socratic method. So I agree with Quadri. Encourage the students to ask questions.
Yes, it is very important to ask to encourage students to ask questions because number one, you foster democracy. You allow them freedom. You allow them to affirm their own philosophy in life, and it helps them how to be open and to connect with other people. I didn't
Yeah,
catch
and I
it.
do agree. Encourage children not
To fall. Encourage children to fall.
To fail and to fall, I
for
think.
to
So,
fail and
Jomar, do we
tries
have
up.
questions before we end? Make questions. Do we have questions from the audience?
From Tipa.
Okay, there's a question there. Okay.
I can see it.
Okay, I'll read the question. Tipa is asking exactly. The only thing they are concerned is my child the same as the other children in school? Yeah, I think most parents are very competitive, right? And they just want to
um,
know whether their children are
Yeah.
acting normal compared to other children. I think
because
I'm not like that.
uh,
Thankfully.
I I I think they are the product of a generation who makes who im- they are a product of a generation who gives importance to competition. Do your
Mm,
best, do your best, be the best, be number one. And when they fail, that's the time the frustration comes in.
that's
Teaching
True.
is
true.
It's a
total.
performing art.
Perfect. You got it right. I love it. Yeah,
Here's another one.
with regards to failure, Nathan, it is important that you are there for your children. It is not about making mistakes, but as a parent, be there for them when they fall. Be there for them when they rise. That is the importance of being a parent. Be there for them. That's it.
Okay, so yep.
So I'd like to thank everyone. If there's no other question, if you have other questions, you can write me an email. But I would like to thank you for being here with me. I may not see you, I may not be able to greet you, but I'm very, very thankful to the 2,080 people who have signed up. And I hope I was able to catch up with your expectation. And yes, thank you.
Yep. They're also asking where can they find your book. A while ago, you mentioned about a book.
Yes,
Someone's asking.
the book will be released through Amazon. I do have my Amazon page, author page. Just look for Maria Lourdes A. de Vera. That will be released by the end of the year.
Okay, so yep. I think Coach Wanda has to go.
Thank you, Miss Maria, for this wonderful learning experience. Thank you, John Mark, for having me today. I would like to thank every person who's watching us on live or on replay. Of course, I think there is so much to learn about teaching and about arts, and it's great to learn from great persons like you, Miss Maria. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yep, and yeah, I think please do. I'm flashing it on the screen right now, so please head over to Coach Awards and let's support Wanda, Coach Wanda as well on her coaching journey. So yep, thank you
One
so
more
much,
thing.
Coach.
One more thing.
Yep.
I want to say thank you to the International Human Rights from India who has given me the inspiring world leader for 2021. Thank you.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yes. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
everybody.
uh, as promised pala, Miss Maria, before I end this live stream, I would like to give away LinkedIn Learning subscription. If anyone else here is familiar with that. Okay.
Mhm.
How do I before we end this?
For
So I'm
those who
going
would
to
like
share.
for those who'd like to ask me further questions, they can do write me an email at marialordesa.devera@gmail.com. So yeah.
Yep. Uh for those who have registered, so I think only a few have registered. So I opened the registration form a few minutes before we began because this is a way of rewarding our participants who are still with us tonight.
I will give free books. How many are
Oh,
there?
that's so awesome to hear. But for this one, my Miss Maria, thank you for saying that you'll be giving a book. But for
Yeah.
me, to our friends from LinkedIn, they'll be giving away 3 months access to LinkedIn Learning.
Cool.
So that is what is about to happen. So if you're not familiar with for those who are not familiar with the LinkedIn Learning, it's a sort of a Netflix thing. The only difference is um it's not movies, but it's all about education. So if you're interested to learn more about business, creative stuff like starting out your own YouTube channel or learning photography, we have that here as well, and technology. So um these are the few persons that registered. Okay, Betty
I,
Nick, I
I
hope
cannot
Betty
see
Nick you
that.
have registered. Am I seeing your name? Betty Nicolas. Okay, I'm seeing it here. So once more, we'll be giving away subscriptions to those lucky persons.
Oh,
Okay,
you're gonna do that.
and the first winner is so once more, I'm sorry, not a Netflix, not a Netflix subscription. Of course, invest more in education than entertainment. I think you should make that. You should make and education entertaining, right, Miss Maria?
Yes, please.
Let's make education as entertaining. Okay? Because to some, education, especially the classroom, is traumatic and a burden. So hoping we can, the things that we have learned, Miss Maria shared that we really need to make the education
Artistic. You're on mute,
as well.
Jomar.
Yep. That's why, yeah, I truly emphasize it's not STEM education. The A is very important. It's STEAM, not STEM. Okay. Our first winner will be having a 3 months Lincoln Learning subscription is Ray Joseph Arago. Okay, the terms for this raffle draw is you have to message me before this live stream ends. The intent of this raffle is for those who supported us or still with us tonight. Okay,
Well,
so hope you're still there for Ray Joseph.
who's that?
For Asgazan.
Well,
So Asgazan, if you're still there, you have to message me, connect to me in LinkedIn. I think I'm in premium. You can message me anytime, even though you are not a connection of mine. But of course, I prefer you all connecting with Miss Maria and hopefully me as well. Connect with everyone. So let's make LinkedIn Learning a community of knowledge sharers. Okay. Good evening. Thank you po. Okay. And I guess the last winner is Kultum. ALZZ. So if you're still there, please message me. Okay. Going back, Miss Maria mentioned about that book you'll be giving
Three.
away.
Three.
Okay, Miss Maria is going to give away three books as well. Can you share us the terms for that?
The book is about arts. It will teach you how to paint. It describes the importance of artistic education in developing the child. So it comes with psychology and art. The method of using natural pigments for painting. So I'll be giving three books to those person. Send me your email through you through you, Jamar.
Okay. And yeah, possibly the near future. I was actually before this live stream event happened, I was also negotiating with Miss Maria for piano lessons. So I wanted to learn piano as well, and possibly we'll do a collab with Miss Maria for those who are interested to learn piano. I would not like to learn piano all alone by myself, but I prefer having you all for those who are interested, especially children and those who are young at heart, to learn music and piano as well. So I think music really plays a great role in appreciating art, right, Miss Maria?
Yes, please.
Okay. So with that, once more, thank you so much to all of you who've been here with us till the end. And again, if you have a message or an advocacy to share, like Miss Maria, we're inviting you, okay, to be our next sharer for LinkedIn local community. And yeah, or if you happen to know someone who can make a positive difference by sharing their knowledge. So the community is simple. It's a community also of knowledge sharers. And I think this is the best we can do. If you learn more, definitely you'll be earning more. So our ways of means of helping everyone out, hoping in this series of LinkedIn local sessions, we get to inspire you, we get to help you in our own little way. So again, if you have a message or an advocacy like Miss Maria, inviting you to be our sharer as well. So yep, thank you so much, Miss Maria.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you to everyone. By the way, you just have to give me the three names.
Okay, so yep, for those interested to have that book, I guess the first three, can we
I
say
thought
that?
I thought you're gonna do your magic thing.
Okay. Okay, we can do that. Um, my only concern is some of.
If they're
Okay,
not there,
there's yeah, if they're not there. So yeah, let's still do it.
we should have done that halfway.
Book winner. I'm gonna be indicating this as a book winner. Okay, Leon Regine.
Okay,
Again, if you're still there, message us. Message me before this live stream ends. Thank you so much for winning a book signed
it is signed.
by Miss
Uh-uh.
Melissa Molema.
Cool. And the last one is
Oh, me.
me. Oh, that's wonderful. Last one is
Amit
Chara
Gosh.
Amit.
Shout out to Nathan as once more. Shout out to Nathan Kaiser for being here, supporting, most especially Miss Maria. So highly appreciate.
Thank you, Nathan.
And yeah, Quadri as well. Yep.
Thank you for being there, Quadri. And Leon Bulao, Machen Webb, Leon Yulio. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Have a great evening, everyone. Miss Maria, any last words still?
Bless you, and I hope to see you in my future talk. You'll just have to log in, and then um, do write me an email if you want me to talk about something that you need you need to discover from my talk.
Yep. Definitely this is not this will be the first of the few sessions that we'll be having Miss Maria as well, because um every year we meet new, or we add in new community members to our community, and they are thousands.
Mhm.
Previous Before the pandemic, this was just around the community of, I think, 800, and now it's 7,000. So we're hoping to reach 10,000 before this year ends, and I guess it would be unfair for them not to hear directly from you instead of watching a replay. So definitely, they deserve to hear your voice real time. So hoping to
Yeah.
bring in Miss Maria Lourdes once more. So
Let's look
again,
at your piano someday. Okay.
yep.
Okay.
Okay, so once
Bye
more,
everyone. Bye bye everyone.